Where do you work and what is your designation?
So I currently work for a medical humanitarian organization called Medicine Sans Frontières, or in English it's called Doctors Without Borders. And my current position is a deputy medical coordinator.
How long have you been working with this organization?
I've been working with MSF since 2010, first as a medical doctor for a year, and now in this current position, I've only been there for 4 months because I took a break for my further studies.
What is the nature of your job?
The nature of my job mainly revolves around coordinating medical projects across India. Apart from other things, the job includes various aspects from planning a project to actually implementing a project. And some of the projects that I'm involved are in maternal and child health, mental health, and infectious diseases such as tuberculosis and HIV. And sometimes also organizing medical needs responding to disasters.
What are the growth prospects in this job?
There's a lot of scope in a professional growth in this job. One is exposed to various public health challenges and they grow in learning how to deal with such challenges. There's usually no fixed amount of time before you get a promotion or you get another rank, but you get regular trainings through workshops and on the job trainings, so these equip you then to reach out for better prospects.
How can you get this job that you are at right now, or what is the minimum qualification required?
This job, since it involves medical coordination, a basic qualification usually required is to have a medical background as a doctor or a nurse. Since the organization is a private NGO, there are no competitive examinations involved for the job. So the interested applicant may reply to a vacancy advertisement with their CV and motivation letter, and this usually follows with a series of interviews before a candidate is finalized for the position.
Can you please tell us tentatively about how many actually apply for this job and how many are finally shortlisted?
A rough estimate of the number of people who may apply could be around 50. Out of these, about 15 to 20 may make it to the first interview stage based on their CV. While the next few rounds there would be telephonic and face-to-face interviews. These narrow them down to a selection of about 3 to 5 candidates, and then the final candidate is chosen.
How stable is your job?
My job is relatively stable in that it's not really directly influenced by any market condition. It actually an overall decision in cutting staff, maybe if there are no funds or maybe if the project is closing, could however decide how long my position can go on.
What is the earning potential of this job on a monthly basis?
Since the medical organization I work in currently is a humanitarian one in nature, it keeps in consideration the needs of the candidate. However, it does not offer typical high market salaries. The salaries are nonetheless competitive with that of similar non-governmental organizations.
What are the advantages and disadvantages of this job according to you?
I find that the advantages of this job includes one's ability to link to health from outside of the the usual doctor-patient setting. So in this job, it enables me to look at public health as a bigger picture with regular trainings, meetings with important stakeholders at many times. And I'm also exposed to various challenging situations. This is not really a disadvantage, I want to say what I'm going to say, but in this position, a doctor such as myself gets very little time to be involved in clinical management of patients. So a one-to-one with the patient is rare because my overall coordination is pretty much the crux of my position.
Did you go through any training during your job?
Yes, training has been on multiple steps. I have in the past been through training such as the management of medical issues in emergency preparedness, of MDR TB, of psychiatric patients, and even in the management of malnutrition.
Can you tell us what inspired you to choose this career?
Actually, as a child, I regularly saw selfless volunteers working with MSF in the news. They were always present, responding to both man-made and natural disasters. So despite difficult situations and sometimes even in danger, they were there. And it was already at the age of about 15 years that I had imagined myself working with MSF in the event that I become a doctor.
Who was your role model when you were growing up?
Although, well, it's tough to pinpoint somebody, but although many people have famous icons as role models, my mother is one of the most hardworking persons I know, who believes that a good education and attitude towards life can take you millions of miles further than one would anticipate. She has really been my role model in most aspects of my life.
How do you think the school you went to influenced your career choice? Or did it at all?
Yeah, I know. I agree. Schools have quite an influence on one's career. And the school I went to had the constant presence of expatriates from different parts of the world. So they came to learn English, and at the same time they also did some voluntary teaching. But it was frequent talks with people from various backgrounds, and I think that is in continuum, backgrounds of from even different states and cultures, that helped me widen my horizon of what opportunities were out there. I must credit my teachers because they constantly motivated me to do better and always took an interest in knowing what I would do in the future.
What are the challenges faced by you while pursuing this career?
One of the challenges I faced while pursuing this career is perhaps explaining to friends, the nature of my job. A doctor is usually somebody who treats patients and that's it. So the management in public health is yet to be recognized as a possible fruitful career.
What are the working hours of the job that you do?
The usual working hours in the office is 9 to 5:30, although the nature of my job requires some flexibility. So there are some days according to the needs of the project or emergencies that take place that I would be required to go on in different hours.
Okay. Was your family supportive of this choice of career?
Yeah, my family actually has been extremely supportive of my career choice, which is beneficial for me. They are in fact the pillars that today I'm able to follow my dream.
Can you just tell us something about your family and how they've supported you throughout your journey?
Yeah, so my family, like I said before, is really, really very supportive. My dad and mom have always asked questions about why I would like to do something, but when they were convinced that this is what made me happy, they were very supportive, including my brother, who always backed me up. I think I've been backed up by a good brother, and my partner, who I feel believes in me more than I probably believe in myself. So my family has definitely been a pillar in my career choice.
What are the most important character traits you think someone should possess to be in your position?
According to me, this job requires traits that have a balance of the ability to sometimes make decisions by yourself and independently, and at the same time the ability to work well in a team, because you don't work in isolation. And in a team, open communication and the readiness to listen to your colleagues are definitely some of the essential traits I would think.
Can you say that this job is woman friendly?
Yes, the job is relatively woman friendly, while the working hours are not unearthly. Some of the projects can have challenging environments where you could work in, but MSF is gender sensitive, it believes in equal opportunity and working to provide a safe working environment for women. So, overall, it has been a woman friendly job for me.
What is your message to young women across the country who will be interested in pursuing your profession as their career?
My message to young women considering such a step is to continue to challenge yourself by asking how you could be different. You may seem like you're the odd one out, since majority of the crowd follows a certain career pattern, but not being in the majority does not necessarily mean that you're in the wrong direction. So I would say push yourself to think differently and do differently.